Oh, now they can see.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
Actually, Nick, I like that. I actually like what you're doing a lot more than the last camera work, where it was just all over. I like, but I'm a big fan of Waddle Dee. So. Perfect.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad. I did this for you because I knew, make you proud.
Mm-hmm.
You're representing the family well. That's all.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Also, I'm no longer bald.
Ian, now that you're using camera, well, you've been using your phone on the last, not the last one. I think it was the one before.
Yeah.
How does it feel to indulge in the vanity of it all? The next layer.
The getting all gussied up for the camera.
I literally got out of the shower later before this. Like that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I like it. I like it as an experiment. I think I certainly like getting to see you in the conversation. Like that is much better. I like being able to
Again, if we had it my way, we would be doing this all in person because I think energy's different.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like the fact that we're both in a room and like yelling at each other is there's something tangible and physical about that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because like at any moment it could just burst into, how we fight all the time, fist fight, like old-timey boxers. That's what Ian starts calling me Choppa, and I go, well, I'm gonna treat your wounds with Florence and Nightingale. Don't you worry.
I thought it was really weird when you guys got in an argument over paprika or bay salt, and then you drown him. You just drown your brother several times. I thought that was an extreme response.
And then Chris told me to choke on my opium.
So this is how out of touch I might be. Is paprika not the spice? Is it a person? Is there a person called paprika?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I thought because Salt Bae is a guy, right? So like.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He is a person.
Bay Salt, not Salt Bae.
Oh, you said Salt Bae, yeah. No.
Yeah, you said Salt Bae. You seasoned Salt Bae on over your chicken.
Season it with Salt Bae.
I mean, oyster-based salt, right? Like that's on that shit.
Oh my god.
Goes great on a macaroni salad. Tastes really
good. Taste New England.
Taste New England.
There you go. All right.
I feel like I say this all the time with these now, especially with the game. It's been weird. It's been a long. There's been a lot that I've done, and then at the same time not, because I'm at home, technically resting my shoulder because I messed it up at work. It's fine. It's nothing serious. If I do the stretches, it's gonna heal up. It could have been bad. Could have been bad, is what the doctors said if I hadn't caught it soon. And then just doing work on the game when I'm home because I don't need my shoulder for that. I can just type because I have my shit set up in a way that's not stressful. Anyway, so I'm tired. And car stuff. You guys know what a smog check is? I feel like everyone who has a car should know what a smog check is. But I got blindsided by that. I didn't know I needed one this year, so waiting on.
Don't you need one every year when you register?
For your tags, you don't need it every year.
Oh no?
No.
Okay.
Right? No, because I've bought them without doing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it every year? Hang on. Oh, sorry.
Well, no. I feel no. You're probably right.
How often do I need a smog check? I got this fucking thing. It's called Google. Yeah. How often do I need a? Me and him go way back. How often?
I'm so glad that this podcast is going to give people practical information right now. This is going to be
a smog check.
Yeah, Chris.
If
that's
you,
a good bit.
Have the unfortunate every other year. It's every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
See, boom, knew it. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just forgot that it was 2 years. That was like 3 or some shit. So I had to do that. I had to fix the parts. I'm gonna get it tomorrow, but I'm also gonna be without a card. Luckily I'm at home, so I know. But you know, waiting for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, life's hard. Nick, you watched.
Well, speaking of which,
Eva, No Man's an Island. Life is hard. We're all going through stuff, you know.
Really?
So says Eva.
Yeah, segues are crazy things. But yeah, if we guess
shows about the self.
Months.
The movies are about others.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
We gotta rebuild ourselves.
Hey, that's the segue, guys. That's the segue.
I didn't like that.
Next bit.
Next bit. No, Nick, talk about Eva.
Yeah, do it. So no, because so if we're going to our own months and weeks, had a recently, over the past month / recent weeks, had a watch party with friends. Friend hosted. They invited me, where they had never seen Evangelion. So it's kind of like what we did with Ian of Kingdom Hearts. Like they would just, they had a friend who never seen it, so the host just forced them to watch it like that. So
I don't know what we're gonna do when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. We're gonna have to figure out
if it comes out. I mean,
yeah, I know, and that'll be a few years from now. I might be in my 30s when that comes out, and that.
Oh, you'll just be going into your 30s? Yeah, cool. Well, that's cool.
I don't know how you deal with it.
God damn. I just deny it every day.
Deny it every day. You're hanging out with me?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Classic creep behavior.
Oh man, I got that tired jokes going on. All right, Nick. Sorry.
I mean, that's
Eva.
every day.
I know, right? Eva.
Good bits. No, so yeah, so it's crazy. Like they initially invited me on, and then I was like, oh, we're just gonna do the show. But what they wanted to do was essentially watch the series, but in this weird order they had planned, because the host, while he says he watched Evangelion, what he meant is he only watched the show. Yeah. He's never seen anything else.
Yeah.
So what happened was that he said they said, "Oh, we're gonna watch the series in the canon order," and I was like, "What is that?" And then
what is that?
And then he showed me, and then the canon order. I don't know where the fuck he got this. The order was the show, up until the last 2 episodes. Okay. So stop at the third to last episode. So episode 23, 24, right?
Yeah.
And then watch the entire film of End of Evangelion, and then watch the last 2 episodes of the show.
Okay.
And then watch Rebuild. And then that was it. But the thing was, he assumed the Rebuild films were just a retelling of the show. Mm-hmm. So he said he never bothered back then, because every trailer made it look like, oh, it's just a retelling.
Right.
Which I guess fair if you're just going off of that.
I mean, the first 2 trailers are.
Yeah.
The third are like shit that's not even in the movie, like let alone the show. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is way too late. I've been hearing this story since it first started, and whatever I'm going to say now is way too late to as an input. But.
I mean, the audience knows. No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just want to know. This is fucking insane. Whatever. Like, this is the. Just why can't you just watch things when they come out, like in the order they came out, not when they came out. Like, hey, this was 1 because it came out, 2, 3 came out that way. You know? Why you gotta be weird? Why you gotta?
So the weirdness,
I told complicated.
Exactly. So this then led to me going, "That's kind of insane. I'm kind of confused." So then we started watching the show, right? And then we talked before about like when we watch stuff with other people, we'll be like, oh, some people just like to sit really quiet when they watch a movie or show.
Yeah, you got to know who you're watching with.
Yeah,
what you're watching, right? Otherwise, the polite thing to do is just to shut up and let the thing go if you don't know. You know?
Yeah. So my thing was like, I noticed real quick that if it's something I really love and enjoy, like Evangelion, I would be super quiet if it's just me. Just me, just be talking to myself. No, if it's but with friends, and again they haven't seen, some of them haven't ever seen it before. The host, he just seemed to just be interjecting with his life stories of like what it mean, and then like at the end of every episode is like him talking about where he was in his life and how Shinji, like, he still thinks he's annoying. And
that would drive me crazy.
After every single episode. So there's 26 episodes. So this happened 26 times.
Like, that's a conversation to have after the episode.
Yeah.
Credits are rolling. And even then, I would wait like a minute. Because, like, that show, you should sit a little bit. Like, just let it gestate. If someone's giving me, like, their life story, like, while I'm watching something, that's it, man. That's
exactly.
Crazy. I don't want
that was exactly. And I was just like, again, I was sitting there going, so is your conclusion that this fictional character is a teenager that can't make the best decisions given their state of mind and their home, versus you as a grown man triple his age?
Have it all figured out.
That's no excuse. Oh, if I was Shinji, I wouldn't be a bitch. I would get in the Ava dick slap the angel. Like, I was just like, this clearly isn't about the show. This is about you. Like,
sorry, what was that, Ian?
Sorry, my bad.
I had facetiously asked what kind of financial bro that you had picked up to watch this Eva film.
Nah, the dude's an animator, right, or something.
He's a voice director.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Essentially, great. Yeah. So okay, that I was like, okay, whatever. If that's how this is, and like I'm like,
see,
whatever.
Okay, so my well, you know what, I was about to say the interesting take I would want to hear is like the voice direction, especially for such an old show, where we're just kind of figuring out.
Yeah,
like
I thought so
voice
too.
acting for anime. We, as in me too, and no, as in everyone at that era. But I mean, like, also, I know the thing of like you're not defined by your job, right? Like, so I get that. But also, I would want to, if that's like your life's work, I would want to get that part too. Yeah. But you know what? These are all questions that could be part of a longer conversation after you watch the fucking thing. So, like, that's
right.
That's my issue.
So then, we get towards the end of the series, right? And they decide we're not going to watch, and we're going to do that canon order. We're just going to watch it.
Just going to watch it straight through. Yeah, because it makes some fucking sense. That's the way. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Okay, so
I don't know why this gets me so much.
I know, same here, dude. Like, I was just like, I don't know where you're getting this from. Like, I was just so confused. And then right towards the third to last episode, because the last 2 episodes are just the analysis. Like, this is what it is.
It's a Dekiana sitting you down and going like, this is what I'm trying to say, and I'm not sure if I said it.
You said it? You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my experience of this all, and then so the third, I guess like this is now the 24th conversation during this watch through.
Yeah.
I was like sharing my own thing of, well, I personally like movies or shows or media that have really good characters saying like really interesting things, or like you're getting cool stories from them.
Oh.
If you get like just through dialogue. So
yeah, that's like our thing. That's our thing here.
Yeah.
It's very rare. By the
is.
way, it's not like it's not how most people watch things either. I'm sorry.
And then that's perfect segue, because I found out, and he said it very openly, that the host really, really doesn't like shows that are just like those long monologues or like that. They do okay. So
everyone wants explosion. It's visuals. They want the spectacle is very important. This is I'm talking as some guy who loves Godzilla and monster movies. But yeah, that is the most important thing. It's got to be this visual piece as well.
Yeah.
And now we're also coming up in an age, and I feel like I don't want to be the guy that's like, Marvel movies just tell you exactly what the thing's about, but they do. And the only issue I take with that is not, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think there's room for movies with that. My thing is we're going to grow up with a generation that knows nothing else, because of like, we're going to tell people that's the apex of movies are those kinds of movies where they tell you exactly what's happening. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what I'm feeling. I feel sad in this moment type deal. That's a problem. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. Nick, go ahead. This guy just riles me up. I don't know.
Got a little fire. I gotta.
No, again, like I didn't know about like. I only just worked with him. I thought, hey, we worked together.
And that's where it's gonna stay.
Yeah, exactly. That was my conclusion. That was my fucking conclusion. Because like then the fucking balls of this. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna out him, but the fucking balls on this person to go. The most frustrating anime I've ever seen was Monogatari, because all they do is talk.
Yeah.
And I was just like, don't you start with me if you don't give a shit. And you haven't seen so. And then like he shows me he stopped at the third episode of the series, and then he's like, oh, I know. Oh, like, and he shows a clip, right? And then the scene is the two characters. Ian, you'll probably know since you saw the Bakemono. It's when the main character and fucking Senjo Gahara meet the snail girl they're in the kids park, right?
Yes.
It's that scene. So he's complaining that whole fucking scene, there's too many camera movements, or it's too sporadic, or this doesn't make any sense. And then I try to explain to him that while he
must have hated Across the Spider-Verse.
I don't know. I never recognized. Maybe, but I was just like, I was just like you. I was literally a step away from saying you just sound impatient, like because his conclusions were like, "Oh, I just don't think it's that interesting to look at if they're just talking and they're moving the camera around. It just seems a bunch of unnecessary shots." And I was like, "Well, the shots themselves are to essentially visualize what they're talking about, and then showing their relationship with the subject matters they bring up. That's most of the show, and that's what I think makes it work. That sporadic thing, because what they're talking about is ridiculous. Like, that's the whole punchline / like awareness of the show. It is silly that they have to deal with these. They have to deal with both spiritual monsters and deal with high school and deal with their families. Yeah. And then I explained that, and then and he's like, "No,
go ahead, Nick. Go ahead."
I was like, I don't know where to go with that. I was just like, okay, if you don't think it's interesting, I can't. I'm not here to defend it. Like, it is what it is.
Real quick, can you lower us? I think Nick's being picked up on your speaker.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Try that now.
Can you still hear us?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna if it comes up again, Might have to do that. Do you have like just in case backup headphones?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, if it keeps happening, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But just be ready in case. Sorry, Nick, to interrupt. I just need to fix that. There was crackling going on.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, I was glad I was able to fix it. But yeah, it's just like I was just like, don't you come for the thing I know you never watch. I felt like fucking One Piece fan where they're like, show now, like if you haven't seen it, like why? What do you want me to say? Like you just haven't seen it. Like there's nothing I can say. Like
yeah.
And then and you know, and then I'm like, well, this definitely explains like everything that's happened watching this with them prior.
I thought you were gonna say this is what's wrong with America.
What's wrong with this country? People don't read. They don't read. They don't fucking talk to their dad. No.
They don't read and they don't apologize.
And they don't run away.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, and then we get to end of Evangelion. And I want to say, like, we watched the movie End of Evangelion 2 days after watching the final episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I was like, yeah. In my head, I was like, that seems a bit like I feel like you would probably have to take a bit to process it. But I was like, okay, whatever. And then we're watching End of Evangelion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, what was it? We're halfway through the film. Third impact is happening. Spoilers, I guess. Third impact is happening. Right? The music's starting. And then as giant rays rising, and it's supposed to be this big giant moment, and again, the people watching haven't seen this before. The host then starts spoiling the fourth film of the rebuild by reading the synopsis and then saying, oh, this is when well, I can't say because it's spoilers, but he says like the final scene of the fourth movie, and then what
are we doing now? Like,
yeah, I think I literally tried to unmute to tell him to stop, but I ended up just staying muted. I literally said, "Dude, shut up!" I don't care. And I was just like, "Why are you doing this? Like, what do you have against all this? Like, I don't know. Like,
why
I felt
even drag us into it?
I felt like I was in an art house. Like, I felt like I was in a fucking art film, Lynchian. Like, I'm gonna see a clone of myself.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so weird because even my nightmare version of an art house isn't like snobs watching a movie just so that they can say dog shit. Oh, I fucking hate this movie. That's them extinguishing cigarettes on their skin.
Yeah. I was just like, how am I the rude guy for just like wanting to watch it?
That's
I don't know. It was such a weird experience, and I was like, look, I love working with you guys, but I can't watch anything with you.
I can't watch anything with you.
Yeah.
So it was a miserable experience.
That was horrible.
I think that's fair, man. Like, really, not relationships, like work relationships, do not have to be like all beyond work. Fuck that. You can work well with people and just not get along with them outside of like a work situation, and vice versa. You can have friends who you're known your entire life, and God forbid you two ever work on something together. So like, just do it out of desperation because you don't know any other writer who wants to.
I think I was just rustled on
the. I like working.
You start to slowly the other person. This is such a act.
I'm not gonna name names. But
I'm gonna write a side character, and he chokes on 12 dozen McDonald's cookies, and that's what's going to
be. Okay, Ian, I'm very sorry. Wait, Nick, is that the end of the Eva thing? Just because Ian really should get some headphones starting to come back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries, but yeah, that's the end of the whole thing.
Okay.
I think I was just more rustled on the Monogatari thing because I was sitting there going, like, you haven't seen it. Like, you're just, if you don't like it.
But it's also the thing of, like, it's my favorite thing. You get away.
I know I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, but you don't
Yeah, I know. Oh well.
But Ian, I want you to hear this because because the take after everything from End of Evangelion, the host was like,
Ian, move your camera. I can see art in the background.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Yo, hey, yo. Ooh. I'll talk about that later, but yeah, we're gonna get back to that.
I soon we're gonna have to take away Ian's like camera privileges.
I'm so sorry.
I'm actually like very paranoid about what my camera shows, so like I measure out like everything.
Me too.
I don't mind that pile, like, but
Right.
everything else. Yeah, man. So that was an experience rewatching Eva.
Yeah, I just want to end on one more thing before we get to everything else, because fucking the host's conclusion for Shinji was, oh yeah, he's this privileged main character, but at least he got on the robot at the end. And I was like, I in my whole life never heard that the Shinji is privileged take.
Yeah, me either.
What fucking like the meta, like as a main character, he doesn't die immediately. Like I was like, I don't want to deal with, like, I'm done.
His dad hates him like a real trust fund baby.
A real trust fund baby.
He's probably fucking homeless, and then you're like, this kid. If I was this kid, I would.
He is homeless for like one episode too. He just leaves.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, when he runs away from home. Yes.
I was like, he's not at all like. I mean, I was like,
privileged kids fighting in war. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's in his mom, the robot mom, and he's like, he got the cool robot.
These soft child soldiers. I mean, child soldiers when I was growing up, different, made of different stuff, guys.
Oh man, and like just missing the entire. I mean, there's essays upon essays about Eva, man. It's like you're coming into a discourse incredibly late, with very little, with definitely not the most optimal way. I mean, there's no real optimal way to consume media, but in terms of like analysis, right? Like doing a full analysis thing, which I don't think he's doing, but you got to come at it like in a certain way, like whatever. That's funny though. That's really funny.
It was hilarious.
Lesson here is just watch things on your own. Don't watch things with people.
There you go. They hold you back from the experience.
Other people are a burden to you enjoying it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we segue after this. Ian, Chris, and I saw Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, So
it's good. It's really good.
Here's one nugget I have learned before you guys get into it, which is you do have to go to multiple theaters to watch all the material they've released.
Okay, yeah, but the changes aren't like plot.
Oh no,
different now, just small things, and it might be because they had really poor planning in the release, but we don't know for sure because like I feel like that's such a last like final. What's it called? Check, right? That what copy you sent out. That I honestly don't know what happened there, but I mean, like, anyway, before all that, because there's a lot of things about the working conditions upon that, and a lot of it just coming to bad management, bad planning, marketing, as well as overworking your workers, like most fucking things.
Yeah,
which thank God, which thank different unions for going on strike and hopefully changing some things, and hopefully animators get their own unions because they should. And small animation houses have done it. I know Powerhouse Animation, the guys who did Castlevania, they're now unionized, which is great. And all that. There's smarter people than me that have written really good pieces on all this. I think there's a Discussing Films article and like some other stuff. So we can just go into what we thought about the movie first and foremost.
Okay. Yeah, as it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
It's a banger.
It is really good. The animation is unparalleled. Like there's nothing else like it. It's
Oh yeah.
one of the best look. It's by far the best looking movie so far this year, and like one of the best looking movies, just period. Like in terms of feat of animation, like it makes you go, man. Like just it's still breaking boundaries for animation, and just like realizing there's still potential to go with, much like the first movie, one ups itself and like that. I do have a hot take about the movie, but I want to say like all the positive stuff first, because I do think this is like a phenomenal movie. Nick, do you want to say some more stuff too, or do you want me to just keep going? I can keep going. The characters are good. It was cool. I clapped when I saw the Spider-Man doing the thing. I'm trying not to spoil because like Ian didn't see it.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, guys.
I can say whatever I want, man.
You can say whatever you want.
All right, when the Spider-Man from that one TikTok where the zipper gets pulled off his thing shows up, and like that was heavy shit. And when that one Spider-Man who slaps his thighs at children's birthday parties, that dude shows up, man. What a deep look into the inner turmoil that we all experience during childbirth. I feel like this movie is good. It's great. It's really good.
The Spider-Man.
They do the thing of, again, they make a lame character really cool looking and one of the best the most visually interesting actual character.
Absolutely. 100%
in the movie.
Holy shit.
The Spot. Fuck it.
The fucking Spot.
Again, bottom tier. Oh,
yeah.
He's lower than Shocker.
He's lower than Shocker, and Shocker's pretty low. Vulture's pretty low. And Vulture has like one of the coolest animation things in this movie that I've ever darn seen.
Absolutely.
Good. Great thing with the music where just you start off literally with the just drums because you're going into Gwen's thing, and then just adding on to the final song with all these layers I won't even go into because what the layers are spoilers themselves, but they match like exactly what's happening on screen. And yeah, just a phenomenal looking movie. It's also this thing of like we're now at a point where multiverses are kind of overdone.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Like we hear something, you go, I don't fucking care. I don't like because it's just how many IPs can we throw onto a screen now, and we're not doing anything meaningful with this. But this actually does meaningful things with those different universes. It's great. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic movie. Before I get into like my hot take on it, but Nick, do you want to say anything about the movie before I start saying some shit?
Yeah. Okay. So, like right off the bat, like as Chris talked about, in terms of layering the music, just the payoff you get with everything is
the last song is like fucking amazing,
legit awesome. Yeah, and also, I don't know if it's spoiler to say, but Gwen's like Spider-Gwen's world, the way they approach the style.
They do show it in the first movie. You get a shot, I believe.
So, so they're going for the original artists, like the first issues they did. So
the mood
when you
paintings that are pastel, like darker pastels.
The actual mood.
God, what's the expressionist? Is that the term I'm looking for?
Impressionist, where it's
where it's just you're trying to convey a mood, like through color and
it's kind of disfocused. It's like kind of blurry looking.
Yeah, you can have subjects in the front, but like and different lines for figures, but a lot of it is just colors and gradients to convey like emotions and stuff.
I think expression is accurate then.
I think so. I can be messing that up.
But no, I get what you mean. Like, but also actual mood painting where the color in the backgrounds change depending on the character's mood in the scene.
Yeah, speaking of shot versus shot to convey two people talking where each one okay. So I described this after we watched the movie because at first I wasn't sold on it. When we get to, and it only happens in Gwen's world. When we get into the conversations between two characters, Gwen and one other person, and how that's conveyed, because it's like they'll say a thing, then it switches and it's center focus on the other character, center focus, but the only thing that's changing are the backgrounds to match the mood.
Okay.
And I'm like, it's walking a real tight line that I could either find this as, yeah, you did it, or this is fucking annoying. I can't watch this. And it does. It pulls it off at the end, I think.
Okay.
With the conversation, because at first I'm like, yeah, it's a little too moody for me, and just shot. Like, I'm actually not being sold on the editing here. But no, I think they pull it off to convey the emotion. I think the payoff for the end of that arc is good, like, and is expressed well through that technique.
Yeah,
you'll experience it at first hand too, because it's very noticeable. Like when it happens, it's like, well, that's fine.
Yeah. So, well, again, we're only sticking to the visual because we're gonna get to the story, and that's where the decisions are gonna happen.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Should I just go into my hot take then?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think it's as good as the first one.
I have to agree.
I know a lot of people like this one a lot more.
I get it.
And it's a bigger feat of animation. By far, it's a bigger feat of animation. It's a bigger, it's stupidly impressive. It's gorgeous. This movie's fucking beautiful to look at, and so is the first one. But what I think the first one has over that is the writing, and I think it's tight. I think. So I saw this with Nick and our sister, and I was telling him, I'm like, I think Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I only ever say that when I know I've seen a movie. When I watch a movie and I go, I have to watch that multiple times, like now. And that's only ever happened with very few movies. So like stuff like Fury Road was like that. I don't know if you guys remember those 2 weekends where I just watched it 4 times or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, Fully Cooley's like that for me, where I just couldn't stop watching, and I just needed to know everything I could.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Evangelion.
I had another Evangelion. The anime was, but I would watch clips. I didn't watch the full series because it was a series.
Blade Runner.
Oh, 2049. You know what? Only for. Oh, because I've watched it 3 times, but the one could argue was 2.5.
Yeah, I feel like
fire alarm was pulled.
Oh god,
the first viewing, and still can't get over that. That was a really expensive viewing.
It was horrible.
They went to.
Yeah.
Did you get your money back at least? Was it?
We got a free ticket.
A free ticket.
But when I went to go see it, there was no longer showing in the expensive Dolby Digital Surround that we paid for.
It was so good, man. Like the sound, the soundtrack, and those speakers.
Popping off, dude. It was going
people in the chair.
It made me believe in that shit. Like it made me believe in the Dolby. Clerks was like that, or I watched it multiple times. And this one I want to watch it a second time for sure. Hopefully I can watch it a second time, and then Ian, you watch it. Maybe we can finally like do real, like, hey, this is what I think about the writing and all that. These are where my problems are lying.
Sure.
But it can all be summed up in the sense that I think the first movie is it is nigh perfect. It is a nigh perfect film. There's no chaff, but yet still fucking stylish, and you get to fall in love with these characters. And the writing's great. The message is everything to what they're trying to get to at that film is the film is serving that. It's all building up to that point in a great climax, and it's fun and it's funny too. It's genuinely good timing and jokes. This one is still funny, still good timing. There's still just things I'm like, yeah, that could be a little tighter, and probably the production that we're finding out now has a lot to do with that. Who knows? I wasn't there, so I won't be able to tell you like where each joke would be like. But unless I'm like, well, no, I wouldn't be able to tell you why they happen. I could just tell you, I just don't think that's tight, like as tight as it could be.
Yeah.
But who am I? I'm some fucking dude at podcast. But the first movie's just fucking well built. The songs are like firing off. Every song is well chosen, well done, and not just the soundtrack, not just the songs they like licensed out, but the original songs are amazing too. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't think this one's as good as it. I don't think the second one. It's the problem of an 8 or a 9 out of 10 versus a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is an amazing movie. The second one's an amazing movie. It's not. It just didn't hit me like the first one. There's none of that heart. Like, or there is heart, but it's just not as good as like the first lesson.
Yeah.
You know? And I think there's a reason for that I won't go into. But like, again, once you watch, I can talk about this whole thing of where we're going. And it's a long ass fucking movie. It's like,
is it?
It's 2.5, almost 2.5 hours, right?
2 hours and 45 minutes, I believe.
Oh,
wow.
Shit, it's longer. Okay, fuck. It's almost. Granted, this movie pulls an RR. It does not feel like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It goes and goes. In fact, there's a point where I'm like, this movie. How far are we at? This 2 hours already? That's crazy. It didn't feel like 2 hours. 10 p.m.
Sorry, 2:15. My bad. You're right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
2:15.
Okay.
That's a big difference. But just amazing stuff. Having said that, Spider-Punk's like the coolest fucking thing they've ever animated.
Daniel, who plays that one?
Daniel
again?
Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. Get out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Perfect. Honestly, perfect.
Perfect. He's cooler than he is in the comic, and in the comic he's just a costume. Like it's not a guy.
Okay.
It's great. It's great. They understand the punkness of it. And, it's a type of character I would usually hate in a show where I'm like, it's edgy. Except he's saying things that I've said, like because it's punk and it's anarchy, and specific anarchist stuff. I'm like, I've said that to someone before, and I've meant it. So I'm kind of warming up to this guy, and like by far he's just visually amazing. They do that cool thing where the characters are in their own art style, even though they're standing next to each other. So like Miles is standing, and then Spider-Punk's over there, and it's fucking colors and paper are popping off him.
Okay.
It's great. It's great. Oh, and they're animated on different 1s and 2s and 3s sometimes. For it. What's his name? Is it like the Indian Spider-Man or Hindu Spider-Man?
Well, I think it's just like, well, in their case it's just Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, in that universe it's just Spider-Man. But I mean, like what they call him in the comics for people who haven't seen the movie.
Oh, in the comics, it's like, okay, so like the Peter Parker is Pavlov.
Yeah,
that's the character's name, and then he's just called Spider-Man. Allah Shakar, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's the thing. Like Chris and I were talking about this. Yeah, his costume's great. I think, and same with Spider-Punk, he's way better in this movie than the comics. He kind of sucks.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, Scarlet Spider's in this movie, and
Scarlet Spider-Man.
They
Ben
handled it perfectly.
Mom Riley.
Ooh.
Voiced by Andy Samberg.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Which is either a good thing or bad thing for people, but
there were like, I remember like there were so many like movie critiques of like, oh, Ben Riley got done dirty, and I was like,
no, he did not.
No,
he got a glow up, if anything.
They're actually really nice about it.
They're really nice about it. I think people are just fucking crazy and don't remember what Ben Riley is.
It was fucking a dog shit storyline. What are they?
It is. What are people talking about saying the Clone Saga was good shit? I know the Clone Saga is bad. Like, and I love Scarlet Spider's design. It's one of my favorite Spider-Man designs. If you're just looking at it visually, it's the precursor to just put on a piece of street clothes and drawn marker over a Spider-Man suit, that would predate Miles Morales and be the predecessor to all that.
Yeah.
And fantastic costume design, shit character, shit stuff. Like
they treated him exactly as he needed to be treated.
It's great. I love how they handle him in this.
Yeah, and it's great because the shots with him are beautiful and amazing.
Yeah,
and they even copy.
They do it in the dark, moody angles, like the what's it called? The top down angle.
Dutch angle.
Yeah, no. Dutch is like up.
Yeah,
no,
slanted.
Yeah.
Dutch is just slanted. This is like I'm talking about. It's like isometric games. If for anyone who's played those, that type of thing, it's great.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. For like the 2 scenes he shows up.
Yeah. So, and my thing was like, I'm glad they went with Scarlet Spider-Man, not his like initial one where it's like the cutoff version.
Yeah, just
I was sort by that the first Ben Reilly suit where it's sort of like a Spider-Man but not really.
Yeah,
I think it looked way better on Spider-Girl when they did that.
Yeah,
than on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Secondly, you know what? My only thing is like the reason why the Clones were saga was so bad was that the only thing people bring back from Sensational Spider-Man run is Aunt May dying. Nothing else. That's the big thing everyone
interesting. Thing to do
is Aunt May dying for the 20th time. But
it's great.
Movie. Yeah, he's great. Andy Samberg nailed it. It's a really funny scene. Like Chris said, it's not for everyone, but yeah.
Let me ask you both this. Just right now, looking back, after everything you've said, what's your expectation for the last one? What's your like? How are you feeling coming up on the next one?
All right,
so, quick spoilers for Across the Spider-Verse in 3. If you have not watched it and you don't know what the ending is,
15 minutes.
3, 2, 1. Because I'm going to ask Ian a question.
Okay.
So you know there's going to be a third movie, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so you know what's the end credit thing?
I don't actually know how it ends. I know they had a contract to make 2 more movies.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, well, it's gonna be lost on you now if like you already know there's a movie, so I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
So no one knew there was gonna be a third movie until after the second one came out, right? So the second one, we watched the premiere, and it ends with, what's the name of the third movie gonna be? Spider-Man
Beyond the
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Coming in 2024. That's what the movie ends on. And
Yeah.
it's the coolest pop off ever. It's that favorite thing of it's gonna fucking happen, and like no one knew. Of course now we know that's a fucking lie. There's no way that movie's coming out in 2024. In fact, I will be well into my 30s when that movie finally comes out. In fact, I don't even think it's gonna come out 2026. I think it's gonna take way longer. If what we're finding out is true, and they haven't even started the movie. Which is what people are saying, like who worked on it. So yeah, I believe that. I believe it's not going to happen till way later.
I actually have a quick throw into that, just to build on, because we're still in the middle of the writer's strike. Everybody, we're still supporting, holding strong to their needs.
We're getting what I want, where shows are being fucking canceled and shit, which is what needs to happen. Like, but anyway,
just to say. I think that there may be a good tide turn soon in that the Screen Actors Guild has their same contractual negotiation this August.
Yeah.
And the Screen Actors Guild has said that for similar reasons to the writers related around streaming, they're probably going to go on strike.
Yeah.
Probably going to go strike.
Yeah. Actors Guild too might even start doing that. Animation. The problem with animation is that it's not as unionized as the rest of it, and it should be, as video games shit. And video games we're now experiencing smaller and smaller unions happening now. Good, but and it is like one of the few positive things. I think it's like having this world I can go. It's starting where you're getting mass unionization. Because now all the big ones are going to start going on strike, and that's what you need, so that the little ones, so that small unions have something to latch onto and to grow with.
Yeah.
and like show solidarity with each other.
Yep.
It's a very good sign. It's a very good sign. I don't even give a shit. Like what, like the whole notion of like, yeah, but what am I? Fuck off. Like there's so much stuff out there now, and so much free shit.
Yeah.
That you could watch all of that for the rest of your life.
My mother only watches Tubi. She will not watch anything else. It's
Tubi.
free.
That's right.
Whatever are the writers for whatever fucking not telenovelas. What are they called in English? Fucking soap operas.
Soap operas.
Like what are those guys? Those guys should go on strike because like, fuck, they have to write stuff in like a whole thing. But yeah, so bringing up the fact there's gonna be a third movie goes into my kind of why I'm hesitant to give a full vibe, like a full thing on the movie.
Okay.
Full critique is because it very much is a part one.
Okay.
It really is. There are things resolved, but a lot of it's set up, man, to the 11th, to the fucking final second of that movie.
Okay.
Like there are things that you go. In fact, I was sitting next to my sister, and my sister goes, "There's only like 15 minutes left in this movie, if I'm counting it right." I go, "There's only 15 minutes? What the fuck are they gonna do? Like, how's this movie gonna end?" And then I did, because night one, no one knew there was gonna be a third movie, so
right.
And then the thing came up, and I went, "Holy fucking shit!" And of course, when I saw that, I thought that meant, oh, that means the movie's almost pretty much done. Like they're just doing final edits and like gonna do the marketing and wait for everything. No, as we found out, the movie hasn't even been started, and that movie ain't coming out for a long ass time.
Nope.
So just it goes in the back of the head, whatever. But to bring back to the point, to judge both those movies as part one, part two, right?
Okay.
And I'll wait to do that. But for now, part one's like Into the Spider-Verse is still my favorite.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie. It's probably my favorite superhero movie next to Incredibles 1 and like I don't know if you count Dread as a superhero movie. It's more of like is he a superhero?
Sci-fi?
No, yeah, sci-fi dystopia thing. What about Iron Giant? Is Iron Giant a superhero? He loves superheroes. He loves Superman.
He does.
Because if we count
he saved us from an atom bomb. So...
He did. He's a hero. He is a hero.
Yep.
Is he a superhero? Do you have to be the age-old question? Do you have to be human to be a superhero? Because super means you're not human. You're beyond human.
Is there a robot, like not a cyborg, a straight up like machine?
Well, what's Martian Manhunter? Or like
he's biological. He's a flesh boy.
Okay, robot, right? There's got to be that we're missing.
Yeah. You mean like in
Vision?
general?
Vision
is superhero.
Yeah.
Hero. He's super.
What about Ghost Robot from the Venture Brothers?
What about Ghostbot?
Robobo, get help.
What about Robobo? Yeah, man. What's the next animation movie I'm even looking forward to now? It's probably the Venture Bros. Because that comes out before Metalocalypse, right? Like if I know the date.
Oh yeah, Metalocalypse, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hold back, man. I know because I'm the Metalocalypse guy.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite thing. In fact, I just had a conversation with Ian not too long ago about like how I did this thing where I'm looking back to see what influenced my comedy the most, or like what I think's funny, and Metalocalypse is like up there, like for number one. Of just conversations that are meaningless or just fucking idiots talking. Yeah, man, I'm fucking pumped for that shit. But anyway, that's pretty much all I can think about to say without going into like story details and spoiling Spider-Man. Yeah, so Nick, I don't know. You're the bigger Spider-Man fan than I am. For me, my stake is the first Into the Spider-Verse movie is like one of my favorite movies of all time, or one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, totally. Like I'm definitely there with you. Of like, the stakes were never as high as they could be for an animated film going into Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
of expectations because the quality was so high for the first film, right?
Yeah.
And then we can safely say after everything but the visuals that visually they outdid themselves completely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Animation wise, they did. There's no question in my head. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. There's scenes on there that you're like, that must have taken years to render.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I also agree that the message and the overall arc of Miles is so tight and perfect for Into the Spider-Verse. And I remember like a week after watching Across the Spider-Verse, I actually rewatched Into the Spider-Verse.
I gotta do that. I bought the 4K thing because it was like on sale.
Sweet.
It's $10 for the 4K version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the first thing I noticed, and Chris brought up immediately, was
Yeah.
the dialogue and everything felt definitely way tighter.
It's tight,
in that
dude.
the pacing, you can just
It's
everything's
crazy.
a rhythm.
Yeah. It's crazy. Everything is so just well picked out and like designed. It's nuts. And you don't feel it at first. You feel just this natural flowing conversation. You don't realize. And once you've seen the movie and then you watch it again, you're like, how well picked every line fucking is. It's so good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
great. And like again, Into the Spider-Verse, like, right, yeah, for me, it's all now. It's like it's just gonna be the writing for me of what Spider-Man is.
Yeah,
and it's more like the first film was very much a celebration of being Spider-Man, and then what that have when you become and then you literally have the scene of Stan Lee saying it'll fit you eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which actually leads into my problem of the second movie, because the whole point they're trying to drive against Miles Morales for that is I'm like, we already did this song and dance in a different form.
Yeah.
Over lag.
Yeah, kind of the same. Yeah, I was lagging.
Oh, hey Justin. Okay, thank you. I'll say this real quick. Yeah, we've already did this song and dance before, and Ian, you'll see what I mean, like in when you watch it.
Okay.
Lagging. Okay.
Oh shoot.
Hang on. Let me see if I can fix. I don't know. I think if I'm gonna fix that, we're just gonna have to reset the stream real quick.
Okay.
So everyone, give us like 2 minutes. That's what's gonna take because I need to make a file here.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Give us 2 minutes. Transition, and they can now hear us.
Excellent.
Okay. If that doesn't fix the lagginess on your part, that's either, or for anyone watching, it's either going to be Twitch that's doing that, in which case when I upload this to YouTube, I have my own recording.
Yeah.
2, for anyone watching this live, try resetting your browser. Just click out, click in. Sometimes it's that. If you're using Firefox, try
a good internet search.
No, try
a better one.
Chrome.
Chrome.
So hopefully that's good. Okay. And if not, maybe just fucking my internet is not working, which would be really bad because it's the good internet, so it's gonna be real angry. For me. Anyway, we're back. That's pretty much everything we gotta say about Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
I feel like there's nothing else to say without just spoiling the story and like me getting nitpicky about like, okay, they should have done that there, but like whatever.
Right. What do you think, Nick? What else would you like to hit upon for your month?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for my month, I'm just gonna do a quick recommendation. For a manga that I finished reading. So, I caught up with the author Inio Asano's most recent longer series, sci-fi story, Dead Demons Did a Destruction. The author of,
I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, it's literally called. That's I'm glad I nailed that because I always mess up the destruction. It's like 6. I was like 6. But it's the author of Oyasumi Punpun, and And
Which
I know
he doesn't like. He doesn't like Pun Pun, right?
he said he doesn't like the main character.
Which I don't think you're supposed to for the first for most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. He definitely doesn't like it in that sense. I remember like a lot of interviews were like he said that people related a lot to Pun Pun, and then he said that made him very worried and kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think because Pun Pun's like it's a very dark person. He's a very very messed up human being. But there's also this sense of what I would argue. This is weird because this is what I would argue, but it's the fucking author talking about this thing. Which is why I think we should go back to the times where authors shouldn't say anything.
Yeah,
after they write something, it should just go and then then stop. Like the guy from Fully Cooley only accept like one thing.
That was cool
because people were so wrong about something apparently that he had to be like, no, it's a small thing. It's not going to. Because I think there's a lot of empathy going on for Pun Pun. That you get to see like all the things that go into that make that person. Plus, like a lot of the times with real fucked up characters, you're gonna find only certain things that you relate to, but they're usually very specific.
Yeah.
So you'll relate to that very specific aspect. For that, so you won't relate to the entire character necessarily. You'll relate to more to like something they do specifically. Because every human being is different and is made up of different shit. You're not going to be a one-for-one facsimile of some fictional character. At least you shouldn't be. So,
God willing, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and that was actually like why initially Arasumi Pun Pun was like, it still is like probably my favorite manga next to Berserk and Vagabond.
It's good. It's really good. It's up there for one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I think it's just taking that risk for a main character to be that way in a manga.
Yeah.
Or to give them the perspective of this is a person that has a history of family with their own mental illness, and he clearly is carrying on his own like
in a world that is actively trying to ignore it. Like
and that's why
Sorry.
Yeah, and that's why it's such an important like moment when you always see those times when he is trying to be functional. He is you see like, oh yeah, he aced the business, he aced his test for driving, and he aced and he did he
small
participated
little victories like that were really hard to do.
And then that's why like the whole ending is sort of him like being like him having an actual like support group essentially.
Yeah, you find your people.
And it's all in this perspective. But yeah, like that, I can go on for that. But for Dead of Demon's Destruction, what I really appreciate is having characters that actually act their age. In this case, having a group of
that annoys the
teenagers
shit out of me.
actually act the way teenagers would actually act in certain situations. Like I talked about before with Chris about like what made kids like so the films so fucked up was that I knew teenagers like this.
I knew people like that.
I knew people like that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna name names or such.
Exactly. So, and in this case, it's I knew kids like this where, they are clearly coping for something.
Yeah.
And they do it by indulging themselves in the most like, well, I can just say degenerate, but that would be reductive. That'd be reductive. But in this case, it's like in the face of constant alien invasions, they go through the minutia of everyday life to kind of like to live with that, and like
That's cool.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating thing where the environment's a character that the characters are sort of either denying, some are creating cults, some are trying to get into these spaceships that are constantly being invaded,
Yeah.
In addition, I do love. Well, there's actually a whole documentary that the author of Monster, Urasawa, did, where he interviewed Inu Asano, who was in the middle production at the time in 2012, 2013 of Dead of Demon, and he talked about his process. And he said, "Yeah, I would just get piles of random thrift store broken electronics and have a whole closet that's just a pile of machines, and I would take pictures of them and then render those, and then that's the spaceship. That's the spaceship
Okay.
idea reference for it." And he said, "Yeah,
no.
exactly." And he said, like, well, once it's cheaper, it saves me time. The second, it does play into that this sort of, you're in this spot in your life where the most absurd things are happening, but all you want to do is like pass your test, or all you want to do is tell this boy you like him. Right. All you want to do is like just get through the day.
It's very relatable, very human.
Yeah,
very
and that's why we're. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where people don't even know what the next week's gonna look like, right?
Yeah.
So reading it in this context, I was like, man, it's just, the highlight is the characters. He just does such a fantastic job of having these cast of characters with their own, like, their own idiosyncrasies, but also having this sort of understanding that they're all together of convenience of high school, but also they're together because they know, like, they can like rely on each other, and that like they can just look out for each other. And it's so rare to like not have a group that's constantly causing drama of each other. Like there's actually, and it's funny, like
it's almost like a big force or something out there that's gonna kill us all. It kind of bonds people.
Yeah. So it's
ever looming threat.
Oh yeah, but I do recommend it. I think it's fantastic. And he said, I remember the author said that he doesn't know much about sci-fi, so he just like written what he thinks it is, and I think it's probably my favorite sci-fi manga out there, like, because it is just
outsider
an it's just such an embodiment of like having these characters, and you have these crazy arcs where the main character is like Disco Elysium Dubois level of degeneracy and just trash.
Hell yeah.
Where she is no filter. She is like, he pukes on people's homework. She one of the first things she says is, "Oh, if he dumped you, just grow some tits and he'll bring you back. He'll take you back."
What a star.
Fucking shitty teenager thing to say.
No, it's, again, and then you have like the on top of these characters, like you have his Inuyasha style of like the cartoonish, like gag manga characters in between it all.
Yeah.
And he does such a great job with it. Because it does work, because the joke is the cartoon people are realizing humans are fucked up and really, really going through shit. Like,
right.
But it does it in such a way, like, there's no other author out there like that. So I love it. So that's why I recommend it to you guys. I think you guys would like it.
I probably would. I liked Goodnight Pumpkin a lot. So that was a fantastic manga.
I love that internal kind of meta art. So that does sound really fun.
Yeah. So that would be in total my month.
Nice.
That's good. All right, right on. Ian, you want to go for it, man?
Sure, man. All right, I've got 2 books and a film. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, because most of the things I've watched are comedies, so like it's gonna be. That's pretty funny.
So. I'll talk a little bit about the movie, and then I'll get to the 2 books. But I went and saw Asteroid City, guys.
Yes, I want to see it real bad.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing he's produced.
Okay.
And I want to talk a little bit about it.
Pray tell, Ian.
Yes.
Best there is a very objective term. What objectively is the best thing? produced.
Oh, objectively, the best thing he made
You
is
said
the Grand
best,
Budapest.
and that is an objective thing. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I agree with that. Like, if we have to...
It's the
Yeah, if
best
I had...
movie he's
There
made.
was some weird universal grading thing, that's probably the most movie, like, best movie you made, just all around best movie. What's your favorite subjectively?
My favorite subjectively is the French Dispatch. It's super self-indulgent writer movie.
It's the most indulgent. It's one of the most indulgent movies I've ever seen. Like,
It really is.
I love that movie. It's the most indulgent. It's like, oh man, okay. The only other as indulgent movie I can possibly think of. No, you know what? French Dispatch is not as indulgent as a Neil Breen movie. Because
oh God, no! Don't
Wes Anderson's not the main character in his movie.
No. He at least has like. I'll say this: he gets accused of having samey characters, which he
he absolutely does.
They are.
They really are.
They are.
Like,
but
at this point, a Wes Anderson movie is very comforting. Like, you go watch it, and it's actually very comfortable. Like,
it's crazy, and I mean, this movie has that as well in the sense that even before the characters open their mouths, there's a certain degree to you just look at them and you know, okay, this is the melancholy, beautiful woman who has a dark past. He loves those. But this is an emotionally stunted man who has a lot of growing up to do. And here's an adolescent boy who's brighter than every other character in the film.
Smarter than everyone else.
Yep.
Man.
I mean, yeah, it has all of that.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that Wes Anderson became comfort food? Like movie?
Yeah, a little bit. It
starts off so different, and it is different, like from most movies in the way they're shot.
It is
stylized. But in terms of what's actually happening in the movie, it's very comforting. Like, it's you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
man. It's good.
I two things off the top to say. One is, well, let me really quick. I'm gonna read the roll call up here. I've got the list of actors. Starring in Asteroid City. We've got Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, Liev Schreiber, Stephen Park, Rupert Friend, Maya Hawke, Steve Carell, Matt Dillon, Hong Chu, Willem Dafoe, Margot Robbie, Tony Ravioli, Jake Ryan, and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
All the Warriors.
Oof.
All
of them. All of his buddies.
All his buddies.
I would say that, okay, so there's a weird paradox in the movie I want to talk out a little bit with you guys. It's not going to spoil the plot premise.
Yeah, that's fine.
And even then, like, as we've said before, you already, if you've seen the trailer, you know it's a Wes Anderson movie, you kind of know what is going to happen.
A bunch of stuff's going to happen, and then, like, a new normal type deal, and then, you know, it's cool.
Yeah. So the reason why I think that this movie didn't do it quite the same way as me for me is this. I guess I'm starting with the negatives. I'll get to the positives. I've got
no, man, do whatever. Yeah, you saw the movie. Talk about whatever the fuck you want.
But I think that, like, so this movie is a deconstruction of movie making, of show putting.
That's very funny coming from him.
Right? It's
as we just established. Do you know what a Wes Anderson movie is? If you want to know.
It's so the film is a frame device wherein it's like 4/5 of the Technicolor 1950s science fiction movie, and that's what you're watching. And then 1/5 of the movie is a 3x4 aspect black and white shot of how this play that you're watching was put together by, like, a Rod Serling-esque TV producer, a play producer.
Cool. That's fine.
And I mean, it is a really interesting setup, and just to kind of get to the heart of the big idea, which is, when I watched back the movie, one of the compliments I had for it is there's there's like a teen plot line where there's like 5 teenagers who are all science whizzes who are stuck at like this kid astronomer event. And one of them I thought was like an exceptionally well written teenage character. In that every scene he's in, he will say something like, "Dare me to jump off the roof."
Yeah, do it.
Which, you know what I mean?
Do it.
Like,
do it. No.
Do you dare me to climb that cactus? If I could do it.
Then
Go
can I
ahead.
just say, like, you growing up, I would never do it because I'm like, I knew I don't want to be the guy like responsible. I think
Yes.
now that I'm older and like life is short, I'd be like, I don't dare you. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you to sit on that cactus.
You just try it, kid.
Go do it. I'll just stand right here. Go do it, man.
And so in the scene in about the second act of the movie, somebody directly asks this kid, "Why do you got to ask people to do that?" You know, and he immediately responds with, "I guess it's a sense that I'm not really seen by other people, and I have to do something, so I feel like I exist."
Yeah.
And so like the entire film is filled with nothing but characters who are like hyper aware of themselves and their motivations, and are able to just say, "Oh, I'm doing this because," like Jason Schwartzman's character, "Your mother, died, and I couldn't tell you. Sorry, I don't know how to process my feelings." But
does that become a little much? That sounds like it could be annoying, though. Like,
well, no, because it then ties into the theme of the movie, which I'll get into which I would say is the theme of the movie is the mystery of nature. And that is, oh God, that sounds like such an English literature sort
I would
of
actually even argue that's still too generalized for a theme. Like, because then my question, of course, is, what about the mystery of nature?
The unknowability of not only human nature, but the external world, and kind of the frustration of our attempt to categorize and understand that.
Yeah, the frustration is born out of the end. I don't know. This is my. I went to college for this shit. Tiebreaker.
Sure.
There we go. I still think that's a little. Yeah. Nature's mysterious. What?
Well, so when you get your black and white,
I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming
West.
How dare you make a movie?
Let me now build it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
The black and white segments of the film are largely concerned with one character's motivation.
Got it.
And it's basically the Jason Schwartzman who plays the lead.
Yeah.
I believe it's Mark Ruffalo who plays the scriptwriter in this film. He's in it. And I think it's maybe Willem Dafoe is the director, or Adrian Brody's the director. So in these black and white scenes, you just keep having Jason Schwartzman come back to, I really don't understand my character's motivation. And he'll go through what's happening. And again, not to spoil it, but just as a glimpse, we get a spoiler for what's going to happen in Act 3 and Act 1.
Yeah.
Where the actor Jason Schwartzman, talking about the character in Asteroid City, is saying, "When I'm talking to the beautiful woman about how my wife has died, I just press my hand into the waffle iron and then scream. And I don't then address it again for the rest of the play.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Like, what's the motivation for that action?"
Tell me, Wes Anderson. What?
Just shake the TV.
Why
what
am I saying the thing?
and then that theme is then explored more and more through the black and white segment. But it's then juxtaposed with all these fictional characters who are like hyper confident and aware and hyper aware of, well, I'm the physicist and I've been pushed to the side too long, and I'm going to demand respect now, et cetera, whatever it is.
It's that bit from Futurama where the devil goes, you can't have characters say what they're feeling. That makes me angry.
It is exactly what it is.
So that's so from what I'm hearing, man, and I'm only so interested because I like Wes Anderson so much. But even though I do have critiques like about his movie style, that seems to be walking a real fine line of being funny. And no, that's actual garbage. I don't want to watch. You're doing bad movie techniques here.
It's really weird when I came out of the film.
Yeah.
And by the way, like the movie does so many fun kinds of things with perspective and shots.
Yeah.
As far as positive things, it's beautiful to look at. The miniatures are seamless. They do this forced perspective thing where almost every shot is a vista shot of like the bluffs in the desert where
that's cool.
It's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
But they also do references to like Bertolt Brecht, like Russian experimental black and white cinema at certain points. And of course claymation because it's Wes Anderson. But I think when I came out, I was going to say when I came out of the movie theater, I think more than anything, the audience weirdly felt more confused by how explanatory the film was. If you get
interesting. Me. Yeah. Cause like a part of me is like, is this that but like a thing of it's a commentary on film today. Like we're just retreading because Marvel movies, like I just mentioned, are like that. And if so, it's like, yeah, well then I hope you have something more interesting to say about that. But like that's fascinating. That's somewhat that people are like, why'd you do that?
I think they didn't quite get, and I won't lie, like it is a little abstract when you're watching it. Like Jason Schwartzman,
it's so many straight punches that you're kind of like dazed that you're like, I can't believe
you've got to kind of digest it afterwards because like Jason Schwartzman's character, the actor playing the physicist in the fiction of Asteroid City, is like, I think he's the thread that you're supposed to be following to kind of break down like, oh, okay, so the black and white part is a meta text that is explaining the text of the full color part of its own movie.
Okay.
So it honestly, and I don't know what it honestly read kind of like there's this South American writer called Buñuel who would like write short stories under fake names and then annotate them under his own name. And so he would write like bizarre shit and then add linear notes of like, oh, this is what the writer meant. It felt kind of a little bit like that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's
I am
the
fascinated.
Performances are good.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
I was gonna also add. I think one of the standouts for me, just because, I mean, it's you are also kind of overwhelmed by the star power of this film.
Yeah.
There's some shots where it's just like, oh, every face is a famous person.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks playing like a country club Republican grandpa is excellent and very fun. A great character.
Yeah.
Great character. Love that. Love it. But yeah. I'd recommend the movie. I'd be interested to hear what you guys both think about it as far as like that meta aspect of the movie to discuss it, just because I think that's the new thing Wes Anderson is trying in this film, in that it is he's creating with one hand and then describing with the other what is in this one, you know?
So that's a very like, isn't there, I feel like there's an old saying, I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's like when you make something, when you're a creator and you're making something for like most of your fucking life, there's a phase at some point, and it's usually towards the end of your life, where it's just a commentary on either your creations or the type of thing you've been making, right?
Yeah.
So do you think, I don't know how old Wes Anderson is. but he's made a lot of movies. And are we hitting that point of like getting?
He is 54. 54.
It looks good for 54.
He's doing all right for a dude from Texas who's 54. Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, that's not that old anymore. Like,
no,
200.
But he's made a lot of movies.
He has.
So when you get to that point, like, you just start commentating on your own thing.
I'm trying to think of who it was. I think it,
which is a little narcissistic, but I feel like if you're gonna be an artist, like it's some like
all ego, yeah.
It's it makes me think of John Mulaney's recent interview he did, wherein he talked about something to the effect of not wanting to do comedy about being a comedian as a rule, just because who gives a shit? We're not comedians. We don't.
I can't relate to that.
Right.
I can't relate to that. Like, no, that's a big problem. Like, it's okay. So bringing back to the French Dispatch, incredibly indulgent movie, and being very divisive. It's because a lot of people aren't one writers, or two like aren't great, and they're not creators or making something.
Yeah,
like in some capacity. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, if anything, we're the minority in that.
Yes.
But you're going to run into that problem of people are not going to fucking relate to your goddamn thing. Yeah. And I'm going to go, I really like that. That's super indulgent, dude. That ain't gonna that ain't gonna fly. Like for a lot of things, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And like, and even then with that movie, my favorite one is probably the one I feel like you're supposed to like the most, which is James Baldwin's thing.
Yeah. Oh, he's the most lovable person.
The most lovable person. It's the most cohesive. It's the most thing with like, there's a beautiful ending to that story. That is filled with action and like, just all these fascinating, like, just fun things to watch. And then it ends like a James Baldwin thing with a quote that like will stay with you and haunt you and go, why would they say that? And it's for me it's the best line in the movie, which is when the chef eats poison and he's like, it was the first time I tasted something like and for so long. And I don't know, man, we might, it's gonna, we'll wait to see what the next movie is, if it is this kind of like pattern, you know?
It's a spy movie.
It's a spy movie, the next one?
He has announced that he was working on a script and he wanted to do a spy movie.
Okay, interesting.
That's all I know.
Interesting. Yeah, man. We'll see what it is, because from what you're telling me from this movie, you can see the patterns like in the last one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm curious now if he's reached that point. Because no, at some point it's just gonna go, I don't care about your about I'm a famous director. Ooh, fucking
well, let me say one last nice thing, which is because I mostly talked about the.
I felt like that was really mean to Wes Anderson. Again, I want to reinstate. I really do like his movies.
I really do.
I'm just getting to the point of like, no one wants to hear you talk about how successful you are, like in anything, like, fuck. People want to hear the struggles, and the struggle better not be, I couldn't afford my Bugatti. That.
I ran out of weed on the same day as a Smash Brothers tournament. I do want to say that the movie is so beautiful, guys. The costumes are amazing.
I believe that.
I think that he has, at least as far as like the visual aspect of this movie, it's pristine. There's nothing to critique. Every single frame, as they say, a painting. It really is so well thought out, so meticulous. And he's started to edit scenes with that like 90-degree turn like style, and he's just a machine at it now. It looks effortless. And so in that I want to give him props. Like dude, you found what your aesthetic is, and you have just crushed
Sure,
it.
find it. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my main thoughts about the Wes
Right on.
Anderson picture, Asteroid City. I sure liked it, and I can't wait to see the Spider-Man movie.
Sure had
guys.
fun. I can't wait for another movie.
Credits, and I
it's
felt
gonna be a
great.
good time. I'm gonna pay $10 for the day matinee. It'll be a Tuesday. Hopefully, teenagers don't show up.
Me and
we'll enjoy the
me and
movie.
Michelle. me and Michelle will enjoy the film.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize I was doing like a
You're doing
bad
Barack.
Barack Obama.
You're doing Barack.
I was thinking of like some like newscaster or something.
Oh,
Michelle and I in the theater.
I like it like those boring reviewers you get on news things that they're old and like, oh man, that was like a really bad Barack Obama impression.
You
no,
know,
it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
it was fun. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Okay, so you said you read two things, or you
I did.
listened to two things? Okay.
I read two new things. I'm about more than halfway through this one.
Yeah.
Written by my old English professor, Robert
Oh,
Guffey.
wow.
It's
Shout out to
called
Robert Guffey.
Camelio,
Shout out.
A Strange but True Story of Invisible Spies, Heroin Addiction, and Homeland Security.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So I want to do the proviso before I start talking about anything in this book, just for you
Okay.
guys. And the proviso is, I'm aware that a lot of the things that I'm about to describe sound like mental illness, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to have that in the back of your mind
As you're reading this.
as you're reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Guffey was friends with this dude from kind of a party scene, is what he had said, in San Diego when he
Okay.
was much younger. This guy was named Dion Fuller, who gave
Dion Fuller.
permission to have his name
So his
used
full
in this
name,
book.
yeah.
That's his full name,
As we call him, D-Dog.
D-Dog.
Mhm.
And so Dion was a guy who was a heroin addict who lived in San Diego.
Yep.
And was on regular speaking terms with my professor in the early 2000s. And this guy was living about 10 minutes away from NCIS, which is like the naval place.
Yeah.
So,
I've been there.
Oh, okay.
That's the one with the boat, right?
Yeah,
The big boat. Yeah, I've been on the boat. I did that boat tour. Okay, yeah, sorry, go on.
Okay. So so here's a short thing of the first two chapters, how they set it up. Essentially, Dion is having a party with a lot of his friends.
Yeah.
They're having drinks, they're getting high. They bring in this 21-year-old guy who's got a military backpack, and he's like, I'm looking for a place to stay for the night before I head back to see family out east.
Mhm.
So he being in a house that basically has transients coming in and out, he's like, okay, sure. And a few days into this young man's stay, he realizes that he's got a laptop that has Department of Homeland Security stickers on it. And he's like, oh, what's that? And he says, oh, I took it from work when I left. And he then finds out that this young man... He then finds out that this young man is AWOL from the Naval Academy.
Oh, sick.
And has stolen a truck.
Oh, sick. That's
25,
man.
25 night vision goggles.
Yo, this part, yeah. This shit's real now.
And he has a laptop from the Department of Defense.
Every choice you make now will determine what will happen for the rest of your life. Like, that's awesome.
So old Dion, he's a very welcoming host, but he says, you need to get the fuck out of my house right now. Why would you turn the laptop on? They can trace the laptop.
Yeah, it's so easy. They do that shit just at like different businesses, man. Like, you don't even need to be part of the government. I know my dad used to work at JPL. His laptop was like that. Every time you turn it on, yep, it's all recorded. It's whatever you do on that laptop, it's all there.
And they've got a geotag.
And there's
I'm
a
sure, as
geotag.
well.
They were able to, and this was back. Fuck, dude, this was like early 2000s too.
Yeah, post 9/11. Yeah,
This
like
was going
just
on.
post. Yeah, this book is happening 2003 to 2006.
Oh, there you go. Post 9/11, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to jump ahead, I'm just thrilled with it. So
That's fun. That's a fun premise. Yeah.
that's cool.
it's a really interesting premise, but as the story goes on, it starts to basically get more and more extreme. The short version of it is Dion believes that he is being gang stalked because he refuses to admit to harboring stolen military equipment.
Yeah.
So Dion, and so when he describes to Dr. Guffey, like what the military is doing, he describes it as sometimes they can make it so there's no sound outside my apartment, or if there's like deafening sound. And sometimes when I go to one store, I'll hear people have a conversation, and I'll go to a different store and I'll have different people repeat word for word that same conversation.
Yeah.
It's basically like he's this feeling of being gaslit perpetually by every random stranger.
Absolutely.
And then eventually, it's also not super clear within the book when he is or isn't on heroin as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you then get into like, yeah, man, they sent some dwarves into my house and they moved around the furniture just to get me, you know, man.
Something that really fucking Barry bit. Wow, I'm just like, I watch too much television, people. It's that Barry bit. I could replace all the furniture in her house and just make it slightly smaller. And she'll think she's growing giant.
Yeah.
I'll replace her dog with a dog that looks exactly like it, but it's not her dog.
So here's the thing, though. Recorded as a matter of fact, one of the officers from NCIS did interview Dion at least 3 times after this had happened.
Yeah.
And Dion more or less directly told her, I don't know where that sailor is. He took everything he had with him. I didn't touch any of it. I don't know what happened to it. So here, and this is the one kind of note I want to leave on, which is so Dion gets wired $700, which is all the money he has. He buys a van from one of his dealers and decides he's just going to leave in the middle of the night so that the NCIS can stop following him.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's when they would expect you to leave to do something like that.
So Dr. Guffey is then in this process thinking, I really want to make sure that he's not breaking the law by leaving, because there was an implication that he is still suspected in something.
Yeah.
So
and now Dr. Guffey is like, now that he knows information, is culpable. Like,
that's right. So
know your law. Anyway.
So he calls one of his friends who worked for the LA DA's office.
Okay.
And gives her kind of the background on this. And she basically says, well, he sounds like a drug addict or a schizophrenic. Like, who cares?
I was about to say, the premise, the you start off by saying, he's not mentally all there.
Yeah.
And boy, does it sound like that with that kind of story.
Yeah, it does. It very much does. So he then repeats all the parts that are like verifiable, that they have evidence of, and they're like, no, this seems like something, and she basically says, well, he's a drug addict anyway. Why don't we want NCIS spying on him? And so she says, hold on. She hangs up the phone.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She hangs up the phone. And when she calls him back, she said, I just talked to the director of NCIS and asked her if they were spying on Dion. And she said they weren't. So Guffey freaks the fuck out. And he's like, Jesus Christ, Dion's going to be so mad when he finds out. And he's like, so what do I do? So he hangs up on her and calls the woman directly himself as well. He's like, well, fuck, I've got to. Yeah. Well, she gave out her number to Dion on a business card, and Dion passed it along that way.
Got it.
So he calls her, and essentially she won't say. He says, I understand that Dion's thinking of leaving San Diego, and she says, well, I wouldn't recommend him doing that. And so he says, so are you saying that he's not allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Do that? Would that be illegal? She said, it wouldn't be illegal now, but we don't feel like it would be wise for him to do.
Yeah.
And he said, that's interesting because you told my friend who worked at the DA's office that you weren't investigating him.
Yeah.
She said, well, maybe not right now. We're not.
There you go,
And so it was, it was a very strange interaction. Like I said, I'm not entirely through the book, but it's an interesting read. I'm loving it. It's really fun.
It's such a good combination of like where everyone is potentially a liar, but there's enough things of like the way people are talking, like the DA and the NCIA, NCIA.
Yes.
In that, well, if Dion's right,
that
sounds exactly like what they would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And if Dion's wrong, it's still a little suspicious that they would say something like that, right? So there's a weird thing of like, what do I err on the side of caution here?
Right.
And what is that like exactly? Because now I have knowledge of things that I shouldn't have, and like, because I wanted to hear a cool story.
Right.
That's fun. That's a cool premise. Like
it is an interesting premise. I'm excited to see where it ends up leading.
What a page turner. That's a good fucking.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. So that was the first book, and my second book. I've got a second book I can throw out here.
Yeah.
This one was also a fun one that I just wanted something fun to read. So I got The Ghost Hunters Adventure Club and the Secret of the Grand Chateau.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool cover.
Whoa, that's cool.
Pretty fun. Yeah. It's a young adult mystery.
Is that new? It looks old. Or are they trying to copy the old aesthetic? Like,
yeah, they're trying to do like a Nancy Drew Hardy Boys deal.
Okay, so it's new.
Yeah, this is brand new. This was published in 2019, I think.
Oh, way past my time.
Yeah, 2019.
But it worked on you. It got you to buy the.
It got me to buy it.
To buy them.
It's partially. It was produced by the Dream Daddy people.
Okay.
It was over from their writing studio. It's a funny book, and you know what, guys? I got the sequel on my wish list. They got me. It's pretty good. If you want something, light and easy, and I don't know, I was a Hardy Boys kid growing up, so there's something fun about one of these, like, and essentially, like, the book and the series, I would say, I don't know, I haven't read the second one, essentially just promises to do like a random mashup of all the kids' tropes that you liked growing up, like, it's a detective mystery, it's Indiana Jones, it's Nancy Drew, it's all that together.
It's everything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Because I guess the closest to that kind of stuff, and it's not even that. It's not even a detective story. Just young adult fiction, right? Goosebumps. Yeah, always talked about that to no end.
Yes.
That's what a lot of the stuff I read.
Have you guys heard about the new Goosebumps series coming out soon?
No.
Disney Plus.
Oh no, I do think I've heard about this. Hey, when's that Haunted Mansion movie coming out? There's some good people in that, and I didn't know that.
This July, guys.
Is that real? Okay, is that gonna be in theaters only, or are they gonna put Disney Plus? I mean, I assume in the future, like.
Yeah.
What'd you all think of the Haunted Mansion, Eddie Murphy, the movie?
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
Mixed
I remember
Fine.
liking it as a kid, and I haven't watched it recently, so I don't know. I rewatched that zombie scene because someone put that up, and that's a
Oh.
kick-ass zombie scene.
That is.
Like looking back, like wow, that is a good, well-paced, like
That scared the shit out of me
just
as a
horror.
kid.
Yeah.
I was crying. I was scared.
yeah.
I was a child. Who would have thought? Yeah.
The only other young adult thing that comes to my head, because again, I was reading comics like
Mhm.
JLA and like that stuff, is Pendragon, and I don't know. I think Carissa's the only person I know who says they have read it.
That's
And
like
I think
King
they only
Arthur
read the
stuff.
first one.
But are they telling the truth though?
Well, they said they read the first one. That's what I know for sure. I don't know if they
believe
read the whole
them.
thing. Because I gotta talk about that ending with someone.
I must.
I haven't
believe
found
them.
anyone in my life.
I'm about to say, like, I choose to believe. Anyone else read those fucking what's the cat, the tribe? It's like the cats, the
Oh, I know what you're talking
Warrior.
about. I watched a video.
Warriors,
of that.
yeah.
Cat Warrior, yeah.
warriors. Yeah, that one's good.
Is there no video on Pendragon? Should I do a video on Pendragon and be like,
Someone's gotta.
Pendragon?
What up with that?
that?
About a dude.
It's the
goes
multiverse
places.
before the multiverse.
It actually was.
Yeah, man. So okay, is that was that it for your month?
Yeah, guys, I'm tapped out. Other than that, it's just been work for me. Oh, one last thing I can mention is just from like life and stuff. I did a hiking tour the other weekend. Yeah, it was really fun, guys. I I drove up through Vegas into Zion.
Oh,
we did what?
Go ahead.
We did like a day's hike through Zion, then Monument Valley, then Mesa Verde, and then we rounded back to the capital of Navajo Nation, which is Window Rock. So
nice.
That was just worth mentioning quickly. When I drove through there, I just got to say, guys, beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And being in Navajo land felt like being in a Pokemon game. In that,
yeah,
there's like 3 different biomes back to each other that are like 20 minutes away.
Okay.
In this really dramatic, like, almost befuddling, like, I drove out of Colorado south, back through the desert in New Mexico. Yeah. You cross into the boundary of the native lands, and suddenly it's all pinewood forest for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you come out on the other side of the pine woods into quarry, and then past the quarry it's red desert again. It just felt like
that's crazy.
It's really weird, so jarring to have those different kind of the areas that look so different next to each other.
I mean, it is one of the cooler parts. California's kind of like that, and I think that is one of the cooler parts of California no one ever talks about. Is that if you drive, and it's not even that long of a drive, you can do 6 hours and experience like 4 different kinds of like environments.
That's right.
Very different from each other. Deserts, of course, SoCal, and then just the beaches. And the rocky cliffs, and then into pine woods and green, and to straight up like mountain and snow, like shit. California is wild like that. Like into plains too, into vast, just flat ass plains. And they're all farming, and it's all different land, and like California. That's like one of the cooler parts of California. No one ever really talks about, I think, but
I agree.
It's rad.
Yeah,
it's part of the reason I like what's it called, road trips, just seeing different stuff within like an hour, like or two. Like it's pretty nuts. But that sounds fun, man. I was gonna ask if since you stopped in Vegas, did you get hard Mountain Dew?
I did not. We only stopped for gas and to laugh at the giant building with Penn and Teller on it. It was all we had done.
Man, okay, you were at a gas station. You could have gone in. You could have bought a tall boy, 24 ounce of hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Oh my god, really?
Man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Let's just say I got a few surprises for 4th. Yeah.
What? Okay,
We're
tight.
gonna.
All right.
It's actually the big reason that I'm doing it. That was the initial. That was the initial idea. Like, it only turned into a barbecue thing like after.
Okay.
But like yeah. So going into my month then. Just a lot of work. The game, it's going. We're getting there. We're doing stuff, man. The last minute edits, they're happening. Names have to be decided, and a lot of and just schedules not lining up to do calls, so it's a lot of like Discord back and back.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I mentioned it earlier. Hurt my arm. Uh, got very inflamed. Was how the doctor presented did that work. So I've just been doing like stretches, resting up. So I have a little bit more free time than I'm used to. So I'm using that to really just do adult stuff, like trying to get that car that I've been working on, get approved for a loan. Hopefully, almost there. And then for fun things, I played more Tears of the Kingdom. I got really close to buying a PS5, but then I thought I should do that car thing because I'm gonna buy a PS5 to play FF16 as well. So I should beat Tears of the Kingdom before I play FF16 because as soon as I do, I'm just gonna fucking it's a fast track down that game because I love Final Fantasy so much.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
I'm living with someone who's going to buy a PS5
Just for
explicitly for FF16 for
That's why I'm doing
FF16.
it. So I'm doing it.
So I think we'll both be able to talk about that game. Like I'm gonna be seeing a.
It might be a little bit
MS2.
before I do it. Like they might
Okay.
beat it before I do. Like
Okay.
just because that card really needs to happen. Type deal.
For sure.
But I mean, I'm not going to go into the finer details of that because that's boring shit. But getting cards and getting approved for loans and getting a credit score. I didn't know I had one. I do. It's good.
Oh, good.
Curious. I didn't know I never had a credit card before. So, adult shit. But as for like stuff I watched the latest season of I Think You Should Leave. Season 3, me and Nick both did. Did you see that?
I've seen some of that. I've not seen all of that. Can we
Okay.
talk about the fast food pay it
I
forward
just
one, though?
fucking that's exactly what I was gonna ask you. Did you get to it? Did you freak out? Because I
It was so
freaked.
good. It was so good.
Okay. But
no, we're not gonna.
one, it's the first of all, I think that is the funniest skit in the entire thing. And for me, what makes it is not just the ordering; it's the when the guy actually gets to his car and he goes, "Oh, what's going on there?" But come on, like that to me makes the entire bit. Like, it's a nice bow on everything. But we have a very personal connection to that skit.
Oh?
Ian, do you not know?
Maybe. What's the?
You might
what's
not
the
recognize that place because. Oh, Ian.
What's that?
That's in the town we live in, dude.
Is that Pete's?
Or we used to. No. It's not Pete's. I'm not gonna.
not Pete's.
It's Next Burger. It's very odd because it's the logo. But I'm thinking because you left or you moved.
Yeah.
And I don't think Next Burger was like it's fairly recent, like last few years.
Okay.
It's a very good burger place.
Okay.
I'm not gonna shell out for no fucking thing unless you're like, hey, I do like me a Next Burger.
We're taking money or burgers.
I'll fucking do it, man. Anyway, okay. I don't want to say the name of it. Do you know the bowling alley?
Yes.
It's in that parking lot.
Oh, okay. That must be brand new then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Next Burger's brand new. If you look at the restaurants behind it,
Mhm.
those restaurants have been there forever. And it's right next to the market. To the right of it. I can take you there like next time you're here. We can go get a burger and I'll be like, this is where the fucking scene happened. Because
I'm doing something.
Because I'll say this, it's my favorite, like sort of secret. It's gotten more popular now. Drinking spot in the town.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's the beer spot. So
nice.
Maybe I'll go. My only problem is, man, every time I go there, I spend so much fucking money because they have so much rare shit and it's good.
Really?
Yeah, it's a sandwich. It's a deli place. and
Oh,
it's just walls of. It's the most taps you've ever seen in like a single location
shit.
in
Okay.
this small hole in the wall. It's amazing.
There you go.
Not gonna name names or anything. I love that place though. You
Hmm.
got to go early because there is not a lot of room to sit, and you gotta stake your territory.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I thought you were gonna bring up that place, I was like, yeah, it's in the town we live. We were all
That's
freaking
crazy.
out. Like I had to call my sister and be like, look, that's where we get the first. Oh, it freaked me out. It really
That's
did.
so
I didn't
good.
even know they were still filming here because they
That's
used
crazy.
to. And then anyway,
Yeah.
it's really good. It's starting to fall in that trap though, because it's
Mhm.
season 3 of
Mhm.
like you kind of know the rhythm of these things are going.
Yes.
And then you're gonna like certain things a lot more.
Yeah.
It's still very funny, still very but I do feel as if they're gonna have to like a lot of the novelty of it is the first season was it was so weird as
Yeah.
a comedy thing that you're getting Tim Robinson's own like very unique thing that unless you watch Detroiters, but even then Detroiters was still I think more normal than quote unquote normal.
Yeah. Yes.
Or than a lot of what I think You Should Leave is doing. But you're getting into that rhythm. So I'm worried there probably has to be a shakeup of some sort in the next
Yeah.
one that's got to really surprise you.
Yeah.
So that's my only critique of that. Other than it's very funny, and yeah, the drive-through thing, having besides the actual personal connection to that, is I think the funniest bit. It's the
very good.
tightest and like so good.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't caught up fully with the Eric Andre show yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What was the last one we watched, Nick? Was
The
it John
Donald
Hamm?
Glover? Oh, John Hamm.
Donald.
Yeah.
Well, we did watch the Donald Glover interview by itself, but we didn't watch because we were
Okay.
hanging out with people.
Okay.
Have you watched any video?
I think I've watched a little bit of his Little Nas interview,
Okay.
where he throws up.
Yeah. So I was watching this, and our mutual friend Rick asked, like, "Hey, so do some of these guys? They must know what the show's about." And we go, "Well, the first guest, Lil Nas, has been on the show before in Rapper Ninja Warrior, so he knows for sure." And there's people I'm pretty sure John Hamm knows because him and Hannibal are like friends and have been on things together. I think what's going on though, and you could tell in those 2 interviews that they really go for it.
Mm-hmm.
To really throw them off balance because they're going to be kind of expecting that. So
Right.
what's it going to be? And John Hamm's like a real nice guy and wants to roll with the punches. So
Right.
of course they talk about so of course Eric Andre brings up Baby Driver. And he's like, "Oh, so what was it like working with Kevin Spacey?" and all that. And you get to actually see John Hamm like try to keep up the nice demeanor and just no, I don't want to be for it.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good in that they're still keeping people off balance.
Yeah.
What interview, Nick? Is it Black China? The interview where it has my favorite gag. Like I was dying the entire time during.
Was
it Black China's interview?
Which one was it again? The bit.
The one with the fuse.
Oh God, no! It was it was early on. I remember.
Was Mia Khalifa?
I think
I don't think so. No, because it would have shown up in like I was trying to find it for Rick and I couldn't. There's a bit in there, Ian, that's like my favorite fucking one of my favorite things Eric Andre has ever done for a guest.
Okay.
And it's just Looney Tune shit.
Okay.
And I love it so much. Nick, and once you get to that scene, we can talk about it because Nick can attest to it. I was fucking howling like the entire time it was happening. I thought this is like a joke I would want to do to someone in real life. Like I wanted to do this bit to people.
Absolutely, it's so stupid. Like you're in disbelief. Like it's actually they're going for it.
Like I can't believe you're committing to this joke, and we know how it's gonna fucking end. Like, oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's good. Eric Andre show is still good. So good. Still figuring out ways to top it. He said, I didn't even know they were doing this season because the last season ended. so like with a thing to be like, this is it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but he did say he's gonna be like, oh, I might do it like Larry David, just come in whenever I have ideas and shit. Like, or it's really good. The Eric Andre show is really good. Nice. Other than that, I don't think. I want to say that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of as of this moment.
Okay.
That I've done. Yeah. Because other things I'm just in the middle of, and I'm like, I don't think I have much to say. Like, I might go back to finishing Mandalorian. I don't know. Apparently, I stopped right before the good episode.
Oh, damn.
Of season 3.
Oh.
I'm now of the opinion that Mandalorian season 3 must be the best.
Really?
It's here's why.
Okay.
I haven't caught up. I haven't watched it.
How many episodes are you in?
I finished 2. And then I did Book of Boba Fett. So I haven't watched any of season 3.
Okay. But you're saying season 3 is the best season.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to name them, but you know who I'm talking about. The obnoxious Star Wars nerd talks so fucking much about, and then they let Jack Black and Lizzo in it, and it was fucking disgusting.
So that's the episode I haven't seen. That's the episode I saw right before it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I have to see it now.
Right?
Yeah.
And while
me and Nick were just talking about how much we love Lizzo and think she's really funny and should be in more things.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, dude, that sounds awesome. What are you talking about?
Because I would argue, Ian, season 3, like where I'm at right now, before that episode, feels so aimless and weird.
It's kind of it's actually kind of boring.
Like, and I don't mean aimless, like and me and Nick were actually getting kind of bored with it, and I don't mean aimless in the first way where it's like a vagabond type like Western story.
Right.
I mean like aimless, like there's this weird thing that they don't know if they want to go back to that, but overarching thing at the same time. And I'm watching, I'm just going, yeah, you better fucking decide soon, man. I don't know, like, I don't know how long I can keep doing this argument either.
I get you.
So, well, I might go back. I'll go back to it. I'll go back to just to finish this commitment. Yeah, first season Mandalorian is still my favorite season.
Yeah, it's really good.
Mandalorian.
Strong ending.
Strong ending. Strong all throughout.
Yeah.
It's everything I wanted. It's got that one actress that can't act in there because she's always doing the smile. But
yeah.
And I never wanted to say anything. I'm just wondering. I just watch it going, she's not good. Like, and Book of Boba, I think, doesn't need the middle. I think if you cut out the middle of Book of Boba, which is the stuff with the Mandalorian in there, which is also bullshit. They have to watch that before watching Mandalorian season 3.
Comic book rules, dude. You gotta commit to all our franchise.
I wish I could take that out. Like, if you take out the middle of Boba Fett, it's all good. But everything Mandalorian. Yeah, man. So maybe I'll get back to that. Other than that, it's just stuff I'm looking forward to. I wanna watch Asteroid City. I wanna watch Barbie.
Same.
Because everyone knows my opinions on Christopher Nolan, so I'm probably not gonna see that. I know. I'm such that guy, dude. Like, I don't like Christopher Nolan. Everyone loves him, but at the same time, I feel like movie nerds are like, I love Christopher Nolan, and I'm the weird guy. Like,
are you guys gonna try Indiana 5? Sorry, Indiana 5.
No, I'm good.
I don't know.
I might.
I might too. I know, man, but it's not the same people. Like,
oh, thank God.
Right?
It's got Fleabag in it now.
It's got Fleabag.
It's got Fleabag.
Who's your? Wow, dude, you can see my computer turn on my face.
That's how dark it is. He's illuminating.
Indiana Jones. What's it? 5? Who's directing that shit?
I don't know. I have no idea.
James Mangold.
What's his track record like?
I'm looking at it right now. Logan. Oh shit, Logan was his last movie. Oh. No. It was Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
It's a movie for dads.
I'm not old enough. He directed Logan, but he also directed The Wolverine.
Really?
Yeah. But we also know the Wolverine is like this just case of studio making the movie
Muckery.
not making
Yeah.
it. Made Copland. He made 310 to Yuma?
Oh, that's a good movie.
That one's really good. He made Girl Interrupted. Girl Interrupted is great.
That's like a classic,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
And
All right,
Logan,
I'm back on board.
so remind me of Logan. Logan, if you consider it a superhero movie, is up there for best superhero movie.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I might. We'll see. You know what? I'm gonna wait to see what people say.
Because also think about this, because it's India for me at least.
Yeah.
Maybe Indiana, definitely Haunted Mansion, definitely Barbie.
I might wait on Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Though I like the cast. Oh, did you see the cool marketing thing where they got like Owen Wilson to work the front for that?
I've got to look that
like
up.
a day,
I
yeah.
haven't seen that.
I only saw a photo. I don't know if it's like if there's video or shit.
Okay.
But that's cool. You get to know what Disney workers experience every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we do have a little bit of extra time then. That's probably a good time to do the announcement. I forgot to start at the top of this thing that we're going to do it. I'll probably announce it. Say, hey, there's a big announcement here. We've been doing this podcast for a long time. A very long time. In fact, I should have looked up how long you were doing this before I started talking.
7 years, man.
7 years.
Is it 7 years? I'm gonna look up the hard number right now.
7 years this November.
Is it 7 years?
November.
I thought it was gonna be 8. So give me.
Oh, maybe it'll be 8 this November.
No, I remember.
No,
being
7.
20.
You guys are
7.
right. You guys are right. 7 years. Lucky 7.
7.
This November they were doing. That's a long time.
That is...
And we've never been like high view podcasts. We really just like doing this because we love hanging out with each other and talking this stuff. Let's start off as that. The announcement being, without further beating around the bush, is that the next 3 episodes, that includes July, August, and September, are the last 3 episodes of Storyteller Cast. Now, that does not mean we're going to stop doing the podcast. It means this podcast, as you know it, will end, but we will be starting a new one in October.
Yeah.
We don't quite have a name for it yet.
No.
I think we're pretty close on deciding. Because Ian says he's got a really good one, and I'll probably ask him after this. And once stuff is hard in the book for like commissioned, then I'll say what the name is. Because I gotta commission an artist and all that to make stuff. It is gonna be different than this podcast, but also try to maintain what we like about doing this podcast, which is our like 3-person discussion on media in general, but we're going to make it essentially a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
It's going to be a more structured podcast. I'll go into more details as time goes on. But what we're going to do is take a single piece of media and just talk about it. Sort of like almost like a book club, but it can be any form of media. It can be movies, TV, video games, books, web series, anything.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more focused, and we're going to talk about, get into the structure of it all a lot more. Kind of what we're tried to do in the early days.
Yeah.
We really dig into what we think's going on, our takes on it, both me and Ian's writing and Nick's writing too. And then Nick's music expertise, and kind of bring in these different perspectives of really just biting into a movie. This means, or biting into a story. Specifically the story of that thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to talk about things we don't quite know yet. And we'll probably acknowledge that.
For me, it's music, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying that a lot. But we're going to dig into it and kind of really focus on it. So what that's going to mean is that the episodes will be shorter. We're not going to do, they're not going to be 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours like they usually are, or sometimes 2. We're going to try to keep it under, just to make it more digestible, and hopefully maintain a 2 podcast a week schedule. One on the 15th and one on the last day of the month. so biannually. So for people who get paid that way, that's how you can remember it.
Yes.
So we're gonna be doing. We'll try to keep stuff topical. We're gonna try to review stuff hopefully in time as it happens. Like schedules will change, but we are gonna do the thing of like, hey, this is what we're gonna be digging into this next podcast. If you want time to look into it beforehand, if that's what you want your viewing experience to be, go ahead. I would also argue this is all going to depend on you, the listener, how you view this, because I will know, like, yeah, it could isolate someone who's never watched it. If you care about spoilers to the point that any piece of media you don't know about, you wouldn't want to be spoiled on. But I'll also argue maybe you wouldn't care about this piece of media unless. So that's going to be, that's everyone's different, however you navigate through that kind of like bog or whatever. So I would argue it's gonna be for people who watched it, for people who are curious about something but they don't mind getting spoiled on it, to find out whether they would like it or if they've enjoyed what we've done and hopefully get into it. But so that's essentially what that's gonna be. And we're gonna give more details of structure. I actually have a whole notebook. We did a meeting.
We did a meeting.
A very poorly timed meeting because we ate a big meal beforehand.
It was not great.
Like, it was one of the biggest meals Ian's ever had.
I haven't eaten that much in a minute. It was.
I warned him too, man. I warned you that it was like, it's gonna be a lot, man. Like,
well, you never learn.
It was delicious, by the way. It was. Let me say,
good.
quality of the food, top notch.
The reason it's like one of my favorite places. Like,
represent.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You're in the shirt.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no. So it was Grill Malvin. I totally didn't even plan that.
Make it.
If they want to sponsor, man, I love eating that place.
Yeah, I'll put clothes on. That's true.
No. We insist you do the show better nude. We all know that.
You're right.
I have to feel vulnerable in order to get into my emotions.
What's my motivation?
It's my motivation.
Yeah.
When I drop my hand in that waffle iron, what am I thinking? Right there.
Am I thinking about my ex-wife?
Yeah, I
bet I am.
So we do have a more detailed explanation. I know I might be explaining things poorly here, but we do have a more detailed run of how we're going to structure those podcasts. But at the same time, we do want to keep a loose fit to maintain these kind of like off tangents as well. So that's essentially what's going to happen. The last 3 episodes, you guys.
Count them down with us.
We're going to have to. That reminds me, I have an idea for the last episode. I keep forgetting to ask you guys if you want to do it, but we'll do it. We'll do it off here. Yeah. So there's still 3 more episodes. I won't do the goodbye yet, but let's enjoy these last 3 rides, man. What that probably means too. I know I've been, as a rule, we try to ignore questions. We try to not like address questions on here that happened in the chat, even though we stream these, just for the sake of people to listen after. But I think we're gonna be more open to questions in these last 3 because we don't know when it's gonna happen again. Oh yeah, okay, and you cut out for a bit.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to. This is a perfect time to wrap up.
Got it. Okay. So we'll probably be taking more questions in the last 3.
Okay.
And let's enjoy these last 3 episodes of Storyteller Cast, you guys.
Oh yeah.
All right. So to wrap up, what are we all looking forward to? Ian, go first, just in case.
Bible Black. Oh.
Nick's
I'm looking forward to Bible Black.
Bible Black.
I'm always looking forward to it.
Bible Black.
Well, you better get watching, everybody, if you want to be in the conversation next time.
Bible
absolutely.
Black was Ian's canon event. That's what he knew.
It made me this way.
It sure did.
It sure did.
We just end on that shit.
That's a closer, man. Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Huh? I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, your first plan should be getting by us.
Though you call yourselves bladers, you don't know the real truth about bay blading. There is a tremendous power hidden within bays. Since ancient times, the existence of bays can be found in moments throughout history. The power of Beyblades have been used to change the course of rivers and oceans. They have been used to defeat many armies and create huge empires.
You wouldn't be so tough without that helmet, little brother.
You're on, Proto Man. Plasma power! Missed me again, number one, son.
But I won't miss this time.
Oh no! He's gonna blast President Lincoln!
Ha! I knew you'd risk yourself for Mr. Lincoln.
Simpson scandal update. Homer sleeps nude in an oxygen tent, which he believes gives him sexual powers.
Hey, that's a half-truth.
Shara, will you grant me one more wish? I wish for a mountain of handkerchiefs. Now, just let yourself cry, as much as you need to. You'll have plenty of handkerchiefs to help you through it.
Well, sir, treason season started early this year as a nuclear sub was hijacked by local man Homer Simpson.
Oh my God! I told him that photo would come back to haunt him.
Could Homer Simpson be a communist? His father spoke out on his behalf.
My Homer is not a communist. He may be a liar, a pig, an idiot, a communist, but he is not a porn star.
Hero call! This trap card lets me pick a monster and put him on the top of my deck. And I choose this. Elemental hero, Neos.
Not so fast. Thanks to my state select spell, he won't be there for long. Because now I get to shuffle your deck. So how do you like this? Bada bing! I'll shuffle these boys real good.
でも先輩結構みんなに優しいじゃん。なんか声かけてくれたりとか。でも香水もらったらなんかわかんないくれるって。嘘好きすぎやんすっごい恥ずかしい。うわ明日バイトなんだけど。いつでもそこに。マジで
Iris.
Sarah.
Hang in there, Iris.
Please,
Stay away from Replifos. Let's live together. In a world where only Reploids exist.
Iris, there's no world just for Reploid. It's only a fantasy.
Yes, I know, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to live in a world where only Reploids exist with you.
Iris! 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 Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
Now it's time for the Pizza Head Show.
Hey everybody, I'm done trick-or-treating and now I'm gonna go for a stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut. Yay!
Not yet, Pizza Head. There's one more place to go.
I don't think anyone's home.
Sure there is.
Hello, trick-or-treat. Interesting hieroglyphics on this pizza.
Quick, Pizza Head, let's go upstairs.
Hey, who is here anyway?
It's your host, Count Steve.
Oh, nice place. You got it. I want to go to Pizza Hut now.
The Count will be happy to give you a lift.
Oh, hey, put me down! Put me down!
See you next time.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest. But every year we start forest fires. A careless match, a cigarette, and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Will you hold it down out there? You guys are always fighting!
Enid Clinton, we've got business with your husband. What? John? Hal Jordan, another time shift. I'm up to speed. Carry on. No booby traps. At least none that my ring can detect.
Make up your mind, would you?
뭐야?
Have you noticed any change in Bart?
New glasses?
No, he looks like something might be disturbing him.
Probably misses his old glasses.
I guess we could get more involved in Bart's activities, but then I'd be afraid of smothering him.
Yeah, and then we'd get the chair.
That's not what I meant.
It was, Marge, admit it.
What's so special about Splinter?
Yo, dude, it's like Splinter's our dad, you know? I mean, what's so special about your dad?
Pepsi for TV game.
Mmm, 64 slices of American cheese. 64. 63. 2. 1.
Have you been up all night eating cheese?
I think I'm blind.
What? Good day to you.
My mother risked her life for me. And now you, too. I should have saved you. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
Escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth! I defeated you once, and I shall do it again!
No, Magneto. I let you win before, in order to learn your plan, to trap you. But now the victory belongs to the Fantastic Four.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power? No mere weapon can stop me. With but a gesture, I can destroy it, or turn it against you. Behold, I'll make it leap from your hand, and make you its target. Now!
Not this time, Magneto. This time I'm fighting for real.
It's impossible. It cannot be. Nothing can defy my magnetic power.
The Fantastic Four can. You're finished, Magneto. Surrender. You have no other choice.
Why? Why will the gun not obey me? My power is gone. I'm helpless. Magnetism. It was my greatest weapon.
Okay, Richards. We'll take care of him now.
First tell me, how did you do it? How did you take away my power?
I didn't, Magneto. I merely tricked you.
You lie. I couldn't control your gun. You made me lose my magnetism.
You're wrong. I just guessed that you'd overlook one simple thing. Your magnetic power only works on metal, like all magnets. But my gun isn't real. I made it out of wood, specially to fool you.
Wood? A wooden gun?
That's why your power didn't work. And it's why you're a prisoner of the police now. Take him away, men.
A wooden gun. He tricked me with a wooden gun.
We can't bust heads like we used to, but we have our ways.
Oh, you got it.
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville. I needed a new heel for my shoe. So I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they call Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now, to take the ferry cost a nickel, and in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time. They didn't have white onions because of the war. The only thing you could get was those big yellow ones.
Stop!